on DC News Now.
Brand new information from Arlington 6 months after the home that once stood here burst into flames amid a police standoff.
Women's hoop taking center stage in the DMV.
You know, these environments are really special, and it's cool to see how many people show up for women's basketball.
We're catching up with superstar Caitlin Clark before she takes on the Mystics at Capital One Arena.
Well, it will be a quiet start to our weekend, but we will be tracking some rain. That forecast up next.
Plus, colon cancer is rising rapidly among younger adults. So what's driving the numbers? One of the nation's leading surgeons joins us in this week's What's Going Around segment.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Thank you for joining us on this Friday for DC News Now. For I'm Mark Hall.
And I'm Annalisa Gale. New details tonight on that blast heard and felt around Arlington just 6 months ago when a Ballston duplex exploded amid a police standoff. Mark.
The homeowner, 56-year-old James Yu, was inside firing a flare gun on and off for hours as police attempted to make contact with him.
The family on the other side of the duplex evacuated just before Yu set off that explosion. No officers were seriously hurt. Yu died in that incident. His remains were found inside.
DC News Now's Haley Milon shares new details from officials on the investigation. Haley, neighbors describe strange behavior from Yu leading up to this.
Yeah, strange and reclusive behavior, like stockpiling ammunition, putting plastic bags on all of his windows, and bringing gallons of gasoline into his duplex that once stood right here in this empty lot. You can see those private property signs. That's where the duplex once stood. Now, using all of that information, investigators were able to figure out how the home exploded. They just can't figure out why you did it. This video released today, 56-year-old James Yu firing a flare gun out of his window of his North Burlington Street duplex, alarming neighbors and drawing police attention. Yu refusing to come out.
Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands up.
Investigators cleared a family from the other side of the duplex while trying to coax Yu out of the home, breaching the front door, deploying tear gas and pepper spray.
To move away from your front door.
Yu doesn't budge. At 8:24, Yu, who had 35 gallons of gasoline inside, set off the explosion, killing only himself. No officers were seriously hurt.
I recognize how devastating this incident was for our community. I can assure you that it was equally devastating for police officers and members of the first responder community.
Police Chief Andy Penn announcing today that all involved officers are cleared of any wrongdoing.
There's no continuing threat to this community.
FBI investigators say there's no clear motive for Yu's actions, and police never had any encounters with Yu, and the former federal employee had lodged numerous complaints with the FBI over the years, though nothing leading to an investigation. Curious neighbors like the Wheelers getting a bit of closure months after the sky in Arlington lit up.
It's way off on the far end of crazy things that, happen near you. This is so out of the norm.
Now, the family living on the other side of Yu's home, they were evacuated safely, but they have no comment on this incident, that coming from a statement from their attorneys. In Arlington, Haley Milon, DC News Now.
Haley, thank you. And staying in Arlington, an update on the 16-inch water main break on South Walter Reed Drive. And county leaders say the north and southbound lanes will remain closed until tonight. Unclear on an exact time. They say the water pressure has been restored to most customers. A boil water advisory will remain in effect until Sunday morning for impacted areas.
Meanwhile, in Maryland, cleanup continues in Gaithersburg. It comes after 7 tornadoes were confirmed by the National Weather Service. And as Chief Meteorologist Janessa Webb said on Wednesday, DC News Now's Kevon Dupree went to the Deer Park neighborhood to check on neighbors.
The National Weather Service says there were 7 confirmed tornadoes across the DMV Wednesday evening. One of those storms, an EF1 tornado, touched down right here in the Deer Park neighborhood. Smashed cars, condemned homes, and debris-filled streets. All a result of Wednesday's tornado that reached a peak wind speed of around 105 miles per hour. One neighbor says he was sitting in his living room Wednesday evening when heavy winds suddenly started rattling his home.
I came to the front door and I saw the tube, like, not the tube, but like just circular air.
He He says the storm was on a direct path toward him.
Once it got to about literally like in front of my house, it just kind of stopped.
However, one of his neighbors, who he talks with often, wasn't as fortunate. A large tree fell through his house.
I went and I was just watching, trying to see if I could, see him, and I made eye contact with him, gave him a thumbs up. He gave a thumbs up back. Everybody was good at that point, so I knew they were okay, but, they were bloodied.
The 5 people inside the home were taken to the hospital to be treated for their injuries. The homeowner, now back at his property, starting to clear the wreckage left by the storm.
I told him, I was like, if you need anything, and, like I have a shop in my house, so I told him, I was like, if you need me to help build something or, anything like that.
The National Weather Service says Wednesday's tornado outbreak started in Inwood, West Virginia, and ended in Columbia, Maryland. Reporting in Gaithersburg, I'm Kevon Dupree, DC News Now.
Kevon, thank you. Taking a live look at the National Cathedral. The sun shining, still partly cloudy.
Yeah, but it's feeling much better out there, Mark. Forecaster Brittany Ward joining us now with the latest on our Friday forecast. The weekend's here, Brittany.
Yeah, and you know what? It's going to be a beautiful Friday night and even heading into the weekend. Your time now, 4:05. We're taking a look at satellite and radar showing you those dry conditions across much of the area. We're waking up to, or we are seeing a few clouds lingering around, but overall high pressure will continue to dominate our weather pattern as we head through your evening and even for the first half of the weekend. So temperature-wise, not looking too bad at all. It is warm across much of the area. We're sitting at 87 degrees right now in the nation's capital, 89 as you head over there to Lexington Park. Holding on to the 70s, though, further off to the west. 75 currently in Kaiser, 77 as you head over there to Winchester, 79 in Martinsburg, West Virginia. Now, soak it all in. Those dew point temperatures right now are on the mild side. Comfortable is what we're seeing across much of the area. Dew points right now sitting in the upper 40s to lower 50s. So we're really feeling that dry air when heading out. And the good news is lower humidity will be sticking around as we head through your Saturday and your Sunday. So any Friday night plans, go out there and do them. We're going to be holding on to the 80s through that 6 o'clock hour. We slowly start to see those temperatures dip down into the 70s heading into right around 10 o'clock tonight. It will be a dry start to the weekend, but then rain will return as we head into your Sunday. So keep it here. We'll have a full breakdown of that forecast and what to expect coming up.
All right, Brittany, thanks so much. Well, turning now to sports, women's hoops are the talk of the town tonight once again, this time with the WNBA standout Caitlin Clark in D.C. as she takes on the Washington Mystics. The Mystics are on fire.
Yeah,
well, in terms of the teams they're attracting.
Yeah, that's right. With DC News Now's Randy Bass. She's courtside at Capital One Arena as fans get ready for this matchup. Randy, you had a chance to catch up with Clark herself this morning.
Yeah, Mark, Annalisa, we talked to Clark this morning. She said she's really excited to be here in D.C. and play in front of a big crowd that's just as excited to see her. Both the Mystics and the Fever are off to tough starts this season, but that doesn't mean the hype isn't real and isn't building heading into tonight's big matchup here at Capital One Arena. The Mystics playing both last night's game and tonight's game in front of thousands here at Capital One. The interest and ticket sales for these games too high for their usual stomping grounds over at Entertainment and Sports Arena in Southeast. That arena holds just over 4,000 people. Capital One here, 5 times the size, 20,000 fans. As many as 20,000 fans may file in for tonight's game. Caitlin Clark fueling a lot of that recent hype around women's basketball, making it a really special time for athletes, fans, and players. It's something she says she'll never forget.
It'll be something that I remember for my entire career. So, anytime, I try to look around before the tip and just take in the environment. I did the same thing in college because, these environments are really special, and it's cool to see how many people show up for women's basketball and are so excited to be here. And, a lot of times, whether we're playing out here on the East Coast or West Coast, it's really the only time they can, see me play or see our team play throughout the year.
And coming up on DC News Now at 5, you will hear right from fans who are excited to be here for the game tonight and fans who are excited to keep an eye on things from home. Tonight's game tips off at 7:30. For now, reporting at Capital One Arena, I'm Randy Bass, DC News Now.
Randy, thank you. Now to a heartwarming story out of Potomac, Maryland. 2 little piglets capturing the hearts of the community after a daring escape. DC News Now's Christian Pena covers Montgomery County. He has the story.
Danny and Sunshine were tiny little animals when they first escaped, but as you can see, they're now stronger and happier than ever.
Danny and Sunshine took an unexpected turn last year when they escaped the livestock truck.
They would have known when they were being transported from one place to another, they would have, first of all, never seen the light of day in the for the first month of their lives.
Frail and hungry, the little piglets weigh less than 20 pounds, prompting Rosie's Farm Sanctuary to save and raise them.
They would have never seen sunshine. They would have never seen ground. They would have been inside metal cages on concrete floors.
An animal activist, Michelle Dotzelman goal is to teach others through her sanctuary the severity of animal cruelty and food waste.
I want people to open their heart and have compassion. That even though these animals are different than us, they still have value.
Now fully recovered, weighing 200 pounds, Danny and Sunshine roam freely surrounded by cows, hens, horses, and goats.
Pigs are aware of everything. They are, like here at the sanctuary, they are by far the easiest to train, to follow directions.
You sit? So smart, they've been trained to sit on command.
They are such curious, intelligent animals. You know, I don't even think dogs are in the top 20 of what is considered intelligent animals. Pigs, like I said, are in the top 5.
Reporting in the heart of Potomac, Maryland, I'm Christian Pena, DC News Now.
All right, Christian, good luck to them. Well, DC is celebrating Pride Month with lots of festivities this weekend. Tonight, they'll start with the Capitol Pride opening party, and more events are scheduled all weekend long as well. Well, tonight, the opening party kicks off at 9 p.m. on Queens Chapel Road in Northeast. That opening dance party will also feature RuPaul's Drag Race star Sapphira Crystal and a lineup of other popular performers. Now, the Capitol Pride Parade will take place on Saturday at 3 p.m. through neighborhoods like Shaw and Logan Circle. And on Sunday, the Capitol Pride concert will take place on America's Main Street.
And with the parade this weekend, there will be several road closures. And DC News Now's Tosin Fakile joins us now with more on what we all need to know.
Yeah, Mark, there are several road closures and parking restrictions that people need to be aware of. Some of them start at 6 a.m., some start at 10 a.m., and some start at 1 p.m. The bulk of those start at 10 a.m. Let's start with the 6 a.m. closures. They're going to be in this general area from 17th Street, New Hampshire Avenue to Mass Avenue, Church Street from 18th Street to 16th Street. Now, to some of those closures that begin at 10 o'clock in the morning, 15th Street from U Street to Mass Avenue, and T Street from 16th Street to 14th Street Northwest. So that general area, a lot of it, you will not be able to move around or drive there. Those closures that start at 1 p.m., 15th Street to 17th Street, that's on Pennsylvania Avenue, and Constitution Avenue from 15th Street to 7th Street Northwest. And we also have several emergency no parking on Saturday from 4 a.m. through Sunday at 1 p.m. So here's just a few of them that you're looking at. T Street, 16th to 14th, P, 16th to 14th Street, New York Avenue affected, Constitution Avenue affected, and Pennsylvania Avenue affected as well. The list is a lot of roads are being closed, so to see the full list, just go to our website, dcnewsnow.com.